Let us recount what Nadia has told us. 2 summers ago, her life as a 21-year-old student was shattered when ISIS took over her village. She was forced to watch her mother and brothers be marched off to their death. She saw an ISIS militant take her niece, Rajan, a 16-year-old girl so slight that you could circle her waist with your hands. Nadia herself was traded from one ISIS fighter to another. She was forced to pray, forced to dress up and put makeup on in preparation for rape. And one night, brutally abused by a group of men 2 at a time until she was unconscious. She has shown us the scars from cigarette burns and beatings, and she has told us that throughout her ordeal, ISIS soldiers would call her a dirty unbeliever and brag about conquering Yazidi women and wiping their religion from the face of the earth. Nadia was one of 6,700 Yazidis taken by ISIS 2 summers ago to be sold in markets and on Facebook, sometimes for as little as $20. Nadia's mother was one of 80 older women who were executed and buried in an unmarked grave. Her brothers, part of a group of 600 who were murdered in a single day. Make no mistake, what Nadia has told us about is genocide. And genocide doesn't happen by accident. You have to plan it. Before the genocide began 2 years ago, the ISIS Research and Fatwa Department studied the Yazidis and concluded that, as a Kurdish-speaking group that did not have a holy book, they were non-believers whose enslavement was a, quote, firmly established aspect of the Sharia. This is why, according to ISIS's warped morality, only Yazidis, unlike other minority groups, can be systematically raped. What followed was a bureaucracy of evil on an industrial scale. ISIS even released a pamphlet entitled Questions and Answers on Taking Captives and Slaves to provide more guidelines. Question 19. Is it permissible to beat a female slave? Answer. It is permissible to beat the female slave as a form of discipline. Question 13. Is it permissible to have intercourse with a female slave who has not reached puberty? Answer. Yes. However, if she is not fit for intercourse, then it is enough to enjoy her without that. Question 6. Is it permissible to sell a female captive? Answer. It is permissible to buy, sell, or gift female captives and slaves, for they are merely property. This slave market is still running today, just a few hours away by plane. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time I have spoken in this chamber, and the first time I've had a chance to address a crowd in front of the UN Secretary General. I wish I could say that I was proud to be here, but I'm not. I am ashamed as a supporter of the United Nations that states are failing to prevent or even punish genocide because they find that their own interests get in the way. I'm ashamed as a lawyer that there is no justice being done and barely a complaint being made about it. I'm ashamed as a woman that girls like Nadia can have their bodies sold and used as battlefields. I'm ashamed as a human being that we ignore their cries for help. We know that what we have before us is genocide, and we know that it's still ongoing. We know exactly who the perpetrators are. They brag, ISIS brags about its crimes online. We know that these perpetrators have no political support from any of the powerful states. And there is no one more blameless than than a young Yazidi girl who has lost everything and who today comes before you and asks for your help. Yet, 2 years on, 2 years after the genocide began, 3,200 Yazidi women and children are still held captive by ISIS, and not a single member of ISIS has been prosecuted in a court anywhere in the world for crimes committed against the Yazidis. Evidence is being lost and destroyed. Mass graves lay unexhumed and unprotected. Witnesses are dispersed or disappeared. That's why I'm in New York this week with Nadia to meet with the Iraqi government, with UN representatives, with members of the UN Security Council, all those who have power to do something about this. Nadia and others like her are not seeking revenge, they are seeking justice, the opportunity to face their abusers in an international court in The Hague. The Iraqi government, for its part, called on the Security Council months ago to set up a specific international legal mechanism for investigating and bringing to justice the criminals of ISIS. It is time for the Security Council to heed that call. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to sit beside this young woman whose strength and leadership astounds me. She has defied all the labels that life has given her. Orphan, rape victim, slave, refugee. She has instead created new ones. Survivor, Yazidi leader, women's advocate, Nobel Peace Prize nominee, and now, as of today, UNODC Goodwill Ambassador. I'm proud to know you, Nadia, and I'm sorry that we have failed you. I hope that your appointment today can be a turning point for all victims of sexual violence and human trafficking. And to those who thought that by their acts they could destroy you, let them know this. Nadia Murad's spirit is not broken, and her voice will not be silenced. Because as of today, Nadia is the United Nations ambassador who will speak for survivors all over the world.